Hi, friends. I'm Kristina Holzweiss, and I'm so excited to welcome you to the 2025 Canva Summer Showcase, Back to School Edition. I've been a proud Canvassador for a while now, and I also moderate the Canva Librarians and Teachers Facebook group. I've actually been using Canva since around 2014, and I just love how it helps me blend the digital world with hands-on making. For me, Canva is all about taking simple ideas and turning them into something really special. In this session, I'll show you some fun, easy ways to make your library or classroom more welcoming and to show a little love to your colleagues and students too. We'll create table signs that brighten up your space, back to school notes attached to flower pens for teachers, and even pencil toppers that your kids will absolutely love. You'll leave with templates you can use right away, some creative tips, and hopefully a few sparks of inspiration to add that little wow factor to the start of your school year. So this year I'll be working in an elementary school, and my theme is garden. Flowers, butterflies, bumblebees, everything, and showing kids how that learning can help them grow, and the library can help them grow, and it's a really dynamic, thriving, beautiful place. So again, with our garden theme, I'm going to create table signs. So you can go to templates if you'd like to. So if you can click templates, and if I just type in here table signs, you can also use this technique for weddings, for birthdays, for graduations, and I will search for table signs. And you can see that they have a variety of table signs that you can modify any way that you like. So if you go through here, all these, now some of them are not what you are looking for. So you have to really be very descriptive of what you want. So if I click this, you could see it says here, table sign poster portrait. This one says number poster portrait. So you might want to go through and revise your prompt right here. But I'm just going to simply go through here and I will pick this one because we are using the garden floral theme this year. And I'll wait for it to come up. And then I can go in here and I can click customize this template. So if I click customize this template, then it opens up and then I can actually change the font, change some of the template, change the colors any way that I like. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to write one. I have 8 tables. I'm not sure if I'm going to use, if I'm going to combine them into 4 tables or 8 tables, 6 tables. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm going to just write a number 8 for now. Now, I find that that font is not going to be easy for some kids to read. So think about accessibility when you're creating any kind of signage. So I'm going to go in here and I like using pop-ins. I like using League Spartan. They might not go with the theme as much with the floral, but that's okay. You want to go for something that they can really see. So again, if I went here for the for So here we have our table sign template. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to write one of our table signs numbers. I'm going to write number 1. Now the number 1 looks okay. That's okay to read, but you might want to experiment with some of your other numbers to see what really looks good. So the 5 is a little tricky to see. So think about accessibility. I'm going to go in here and I like using League Spartan and I like using pop-ins. I find them very easy on the eyes, easy to read. So I could also change the color if I like. My favorite color is purple, so I'll make it a dark purple and then I'll make it bigger. If that's too slow for me, I could always grab from the corner and go like this and then just move it over. Okay, now this might be a little busy for kids. So I have some flowers here. That's fine. I'm going to take that circle away and this circle away and then bring this back down again. Again, you want it looking aesthetically pleasing, but you also want it to be easy for kids to notice and read. So I'll go like that. And there's my number 5. And then if you go up and down, you can see that the pink, the crosshatch right there, that is your middle. All right, that is the middle. But you can notice at the bottom that we have some space. So it's taking it from the middle of the text box, not the middle of the 5. So I'm going to eyeball it a little bit and bring it down. Now, if you find that you want to use the ruler, you go into File, and you go into settings and you can add guides, show margins. I'm going to show the ruler and guides. So I can see right here about how many inches it is. Okay. So now this is, let's look at the resize. Let's see how big it is. Well, we can make it 11 by 8.5. And that's what it already is. So I'm not going to print them out so big. I'm not going to make them on one page because that's going to just be too big. And like I said, I need 4 by 6s. So what I like to do is I like to create in a large landscape or a large portrait. And then if I'm making multiple parts or multiple images, I like to add it in the same file because I don't like having files all over the place. So I will keep everything in the same file. In fact, right here, I might as well add this library garden table signs. All right. So I will go down here and I love this great new brand new feature of Canva. Instead of just adding a regular page, I can click the arrow and I can add anything I want. So I really can organize everything into one file. So I'm going to add another page. So I'll go here and I will go to it says here 8.5 by 11. I will do 8.5 by 11, but I want to do a landscape 8.5 by 11. So I will do 11 by 8.5 and I will click that. So now you see I have a portrait and I have a landscape in the same file. So I'm going to go in here and this is my first table sign. I am going to select it all and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to group it. All right, so it stays in one place. Then I'm going to copy it and I'm going to go down to my landscape. Let's open that up. Let's make that a little bigger to work with. There's my landscape. Go down a little bit. So now you can see the landscape is 11 inches long. All right, and then we have also our guide over here. So I want 4 by 6s and I want to print them out on one page, as many as I can. So I'm going to put in a box. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click square, or I could have just clicked the shape right there. Actually, I need a rectangle. So I'm going to add that rectangle. Now I'm going to make sure it has an outline. There's my outline. And I'm going to make this white on the inside. Okay. I don't care about the color on the outside as long as I can see it because I want that to be my cut line. So I need 4 by 6s and they're going to be portraits. So here's a 4 right here, 4, and then a 6. 4 by 6. Just go down, 4 by 6. All right, now I'm going to take that table number and I'm going to simply paste it in there. There's my paste. I'm going to cut this. No, I'm going to move this over a little bit. There we go. Make it a little smaller. I do have a little bit of border around it, so I'm going to give it a little bit of white. A little more white around that. Okay. And now I can, let's see, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to right click, and now I'm going to ungroup it because I do want to change the numbers. So I want to print as many as I can on one page because I want to minimize all that waste of paper. So I will click this box, Control C, I'll copy it, Control V, paste, and this time I'm going to turn it. I'm going to turn it this way because I have figured out that I can get 3 on a page if I do 2 this way and 1 the other way. All right. And then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to click each one of those pieces, Control C, Control V, and then I'm going to spin them around, move them up, and then I'm going to move it down a little bit, just eyeball it a little bit, and change that to number 1. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to make several of these little signs for my library tables. And again, you can put names on them. You can put in different designs. You can put in colors and shapes. It really depends on what you want to do in your library. You could even put genres. I didn't even think of that. You could put book genres. Go like this. And you can see that the lines are pretty straight. They're pretty good too. Now, what I could do is to really save time. Actually, I'm going to move this down. Oh, no. That'll be the cut line. When I cut one line, I'll cut both of them. That'd be great. I could duplicate the page, and instead of having to do all that again, I could just go in here and put 3. Here, 4. Make sure this is behind because I want to get that 1 backward, and then grab the 1 over here. Well, that's still the 4. Let me go to position again. I'll put it to back, and then I will click the 1. There we go. I have 1. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh, and this one erased by accident. Okay. I will just click this again and move it over. There we go. And 4. All right. So now instead of wasting paper, I can print out 2 of these and then cut them out, and I can have nice table signs. Now I have these really great frames from IKEA that I'm going to put in, and I'm going to show you what I did with them. But you can use any kind of stand that you want. Acrylic stands are really nice. I would avoid things that with glass that can break, with flimsy, backings and easels. Something really strong, or again, little stands. You can laminate them. You could put them on, whatever that you want. But I recommend making sure that they're not using glass. So again, now it's all in one file, right? I have the 5 and I have all these. So I really like working large on a large canvas and then just adding what I want after it. And again, all you have to do is press that little arrow and you could add whatever you like. Now you're like, well, how am I going to print that out? So easy. I'm going to press share. And then this time I'm going to press download and make sure that I like doing PDF so I don't have to import the image into anything. So I'll do PDF for print and then choose the pages that you want. You don't want all your pages because you don't want that number 5. So you're just going to choose page 2 and 3, and then you will download them. Press download, and then I'm going to print them out, and I'm going to show you what I did with them. Now you can start from scratch if you like, or you can use a template, whatever you like. But I'm going to show you I'm going to print them right now. I'm going to show you what they look like. So I am ready with my cutouts. There you can see 3 on a page. Okay. Then I'm going to cut on the line. So let me go in here and let me cut the table sign. Okay. Now let me show you my centerpieces. I went to the dollar store and I bought some silk flowers. I bought a plastic pot and this little pencil cup. I hot glue gunned in right in there. I glued it in there with a hot glue gun. And now I took these frames from IKEA. These are those frames I was telling you about. They don't have glass, so they can't hurt your kiddos if they break. They are just plastic here. And here is the centerpiece. I hot glue gunned it right onto the pencil cup. So now I'm going to put this in here. So I'll take this out. And it's got 2 sheets here. So I'll take the paper off the sheets so you don't see the markings on it. There's one side and here's the other. I love these picture frames because they're so easy to swap out. And you can really make your library or your classroom look really, really fantastic with these signs. So here's the number 5. I'm going to put it right in here. Oh, there's another sheet on the other side of that one. If you ever notice when you buy a frame that it looks a little cloudy, it might have the little plastic still on it. So just peel that off. This had it on both of them and both sides of them. Okay, let me just peel that off. And then put this right in here. You don't even have to line it up correctly. It's perfect. Look at that. And then I'm going to put it right into my little sign holder. I think I have to adjust it a little bit. The lines are good for guidelines to make sure that I don't go out of the bounds when I'm creating my signs. But sometimes it's not as perfect because, I don't know, paper manufacturing, my trying to adjust it by just looking at it doesn't work so well so many times. So you cut a little bit off, that's fine, and you put it right in. And there's your table sign. So I will print out, now I'm thinking about, since it's 2-sided, I'm going to print out 2 of them, 2 of each of them. So I have these beautiful little centerpieces. Again, you can use this idea for retirement parties, graduation parties, showers, weddings, but I'm using this for our library. So next up, I'm going to show you how to make flower pens with welcome back to school notes to your teachers. So recently, a friend of mine, Nikki Robertson, has shown on Facebook the things that she's making for her teachers. She's making little bookmarks with magnifying lenses and chocolate bars. And that's the way she's going to welcome back her teachers to her school. Well, I'm going to a new school, and so I'd like to introduce myself and the library and what we have to offer. So in going with our library garden theme, I created this beautiful bouquet of flower pens. So how do you make a flower pen? Well, all you need are pens, some silk flowers, some green floral tape, a hot glue gun, and some white glue or some Mod Podge. And so let me show you one of the pens right here. All I did was I took the cap off the top. You could just use regular ballpoint pens, stick pens, nothing clicky, just a regular stick pen that you can find at the dollar store. And then pop off the top and then take the bouquet of flowers and remove the flowers and the leaves. Don't worry about the wire. They'll have this little plastic stem on the bottom. And then you put some hot glue at the very top, and then you proceed to put your flower into the pen. Afterwards, you take the green floral tape and wrap it all the way down to the bottom of the pen. And then to make sure it doesn't unravel, you could use the Mod Podge or some watered down white glue. And there you have your flower pen. So it really makes for a beautiful display. So I wanted to share what the library has to offer to my colleagues. I've seen people make bookmarks. I've seen people make little packets. I really wanted to hand them the flower, but I wanted something to go with it. Libraries are all about marketing and packaging. This flower would help me to just get to know my new colleagues. I'll go from room to room. I'll hand them the flower and introduce myself, but I just didn't want to just hand them the flower. I wanted to give them something with it. So I started looking on the computer, and I found an idea. I found it's like a little slip of paper that you can put the pen through. And so that is what I came up with. In Canva, I designed this little packet. So as you can see, the pen goes right through to the bottom of the packet. So it's not a pretty bouquet, but at least I could hand this to someone and it's already packaged. The pen is already in the packaging. So how did I do that? I created on Canva, just like I did last time with the table numbers. I created it on Canva and I put 2 on a page because that's all I really needed. I only needed half the page for this. And all you need to do is fold it in half. I used resume paper, which is a little thicker than regular paper. Regular paper would be kind of floppy. You can use cardstock, but not too thick and not too thin. Just stiff enough that you could put the flower through, but not too thick because you don't want it getting stuck in your printer. And I'm just going to cut it in half. Now, as you can see, I put a little guide on the top and the bottom so the pen can poke out. So the template will be below, and you can change all the wording, whatever you like. Mine says, "Let's grow together at the library." And then I say there's reading promotion, creative projects, research lessons, tech integration, literacy support, project collaboration, inquiry activities, curated resource collections, and professional development. And then it says, plant ideas, cultivate curiosity, harvest lifelong learners. And then it has my name on the bottom. So something pretty simple. It's not too in depth. It's just enough to introduce myself to them and to get them excited and interested in collaborating with me. So again, at the top, you can see I put a little cut line right here. So don't fold it in half. Just take it and bend it a little bit. And these are perfectly aligned. So you can make these and you can put the pen through. You can change the wording if you like, but everything else should line up pretty well if you do it this way. And all you have to do is take a little snip right here, and now you have a little cut. And then I go to the bottom and a little snip on the bottom. Again, you don't want to fold it, just bending a little bit. Okay, and then you just take one of your flowers that you made. This one's a yellow one, and I slip it through the top, and it peeks out the bottom. So this is the template for these pen flower backer cards. But you can take it one step further. You can basically personalize these. You can handwrite these if you like. You can put the teachers' names on them, but you can also make it easier for yourself. You can use the Canva Book Create feature to do that. Now, the Book Create feature, basically, you upload or you enter manually a list of names, and you can create certificates, cards, whatever you like, by just having Canva connect the data in that spreadsheet with parts of the certificate. So I've always created certificates that way, but I've only put one name on a certificate or just a few different things that I've put on there. But I've never done multiple certificates on one page or like these backer cards. So I'm going to show you how to use the Book Create to change the names in 2 different columns. So let's bulk create the data. You go to the apps, you type in bulk create, and that's your first app. So notice how we have these words named. That's what we're going to replace. Notice how we made sure that there's extra space because some names are shorter and some names are longer. So I highly suggest that you leave extra space here. Make sure it's left justified and then just pull this text box open so there's extra space. Because if you don't leave that, your name was going to flow around into the next line. You don't want that. You don't want more work. So let's bulk create. Now, there are many different ways that you can connect your data. You can actually use Canva sheets. You can create spreadsheets directly into Canva and then use them for your bulk create. You can also use Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. So let me show you my spreadsheet right here. And notice I have two columns. I have name 1 and name 2. If you had two different things on one piece of paper, just like this, you'd have one column, another column. If you have three columns across, you'd have three columns in your spreadsheet, and so forth. You could even put boxes. I could have top, I could have three on the bottom, I could have six different um, cards or whatever I like, six different columns. You have to have that's a column for each one of the projects on your page. Okay, so then you go to File and you go to Download and then you go to CSV and download that file. So now let's upload the file. I'm going to upload the data. Here's my file. I'm going to upload it. Now you see we have name 1 and name 2. Those are the two columns. Now we're going to put the name 1 columns on the left-hand side, the name 2 columns on the right-hand side. And I love bulk create because it actually gives you directions as you're working. So if I go here, it says select an element in your page and connect it to the data field. These are the data fields. These are the elements. Click this. It says connect data. And I'm going to choose name 1. I can see that it's highlighted. It's already used. I go to this one, connect data. I'm going to use name number 2. So these two are used and these two elements are used. Now I'm going to click continue. As you can see, there are 37 lines of data. Just like here, there is 37 lines. It says 38, but don't forget the top are your titles of the columns. Let's go back here. You see the first name is the left-hand column, comma, the right-hand column. You don't need to put anything in. All you need to do is make sure you have multiple columns. Now I'm going to press Generate Designs and view the design. Canva is going to take all of the data and put it in for me. So here is one PDF already done. It has two different names, one from the left-hand column, one from the right-hand column. It's going to create 37 different documents because we have 37 lines of data. Let's watch those PDFs come up. Here they are. And you can see all of the names are in there. Now, for a few names, you could probably handwrite, or maybe you could just manually type them in. But if you have a really big school and a lot of different names, if you're doing multiple kids, if you're doing a larger schools, or maybe something for graduation, something for the PTA, you can use this bulk create feature, and then you can have your cards be customized with names. So after I began making these flower pen backer cards for the teachers, I started thinking, well, what else can I use this technique for? So I came up with pencil toppers. So you can do these for, back to school. You could do these for Halloween. If you want to give your kids a treat, give them a pencil. You can give it for Valentine's Day. You could put these on lollipops. You could put these on anything that has like a little stick. So this pencil topper is super easy to make. It's just like the other, the card the backer card. This time I just hole punched it a few times and I simply slipped a pencil in there. So you can, even the night before school starts, if you think, oh my gosh, I want to give something to my kids and I want to customize and it's too late, you can just grab a box of pencils and or markers or highlighters, whatever you like, and make customized back to school little pencil toppers. Or you could even make them awards for kids. If a kid did well, this one's a super reader one. If a kid is a kind person or a helper, you can create these pencil toppers. So let me show you how I made them. So here is how I made the pencil topper. I just used the 8.5 by 11 portrait of a flyer presentation. That really doesn't matter. And I designed my pencil topper. Then what I do is I take a screenshot of it so I can save it. So I will go down here to snip and I will press new and I will actually take a screenshot of the image and I will save that to my computer. Okay. Then I use a grid. So if you go in here and it says grids, grids are a great way of laying out designs. So if you've done the yearbook in your school or you like to create little books, photo books, or even like cards, grids are really great to use. So let me scroll down. I can show you. This is the grid that I used. I found this grid, right? And then I took the screenshot and I just laid it into each one of them. So if I go to uploads here, you'll see that I uploaded it before. Here it is. And I just took this and brought it in here. Take it and then bring it in. Just keep bringing it in. And you're going to have a whole sheet of these like this. And they're going to be evenly distributed. You don't have to worry about lining them up. And then you can just print them out, cut them, and then you can create these little pencil toppers. So again, you go here. You go to elements, you go click, and you press grids. And you find the grid that fits the one that you want. I found this was, this is a 16. I did the 12s and they were way too big, so I used the 16. So use the 16, create your pencil topper, like I said, above, take a screenshot of it, and then just lay them into each grid. Then you'll have this. You download as a PDF, and then you cut them, and then you have your pencil topper.